Well, what's up, Kyle's YouTube channel? I have a question that I think will make for good content for you.
Okay.
It's a question I've seen a couple times on my YouTube channel, but people asking questions about kind of like unsighted fire. You could use a bunch of different ways, but basically, is the engagement we're shooting ever fast enough or close enough that you don't need to really see your sight? You could just use index, which for people not familiar, I'll define it for you. It's like if I could just draw the pistol, kind of almost even close my eyes, or like my gun didn't even have a sight on it, I would know kind of what it should feel like to have the gun align with the target.
So is there ever a time where that makes sense or it's appropriate?
Yes.
In the context of the way he's asking the question, no, not really. So,
Well, the end.
yeah, short video. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Dream deferred.
Yeah. So the reality is, and anybody who's put this on a timer has probably proved this to themselves anyway, that it's not really faster to draw the gun and just kind of stick it in front of you than it is to draw the gun and react to some level of color confirmation. Like as the gun comes up, by the time it's here, it doesn't really take any additional time for me to bring the gun the rest of the way up and actually see some level of information out of my sights, even a very low level. So then I'm still using my sights, I'm getting some level of confirmation, and skipping that piece isn't really any faster. And like I say, if you're not sure about it, go to the range sometime, put it on a timer, and it's just the hits are more consistent, even at ridiculously close distances. They're more consistent checking in with your sights at some level than they are just kind of doing a basic index style shooting. Now, I say never, but there are, like, I guess, outside use cases where, stop, it's not that late, you baby.
Don't boss me.
Oh, hush. There are some outside use cases where, for instance, like this gun here has got backup irons, and I've got a nice red dot on it. If it was, blocked from the front, no big deal. That's just an occluded sight. Like we would tape it up for training, and I would just look through the back, see the dot, and press on, and off we go, no problem. However, let's say I've taken a tumble, the back is full of mud or snow or some other garbage, and I can't see through the back here. Well, now I can't access the dot, I can't access the irons, essentially the entire viewing angle is blocked. So in that instance, could I use like my ability to index the gun and like the outside of the housing to do some level of aiming? Yes, you can. Anybody who's ever shot a dot that was off and didn't have irons, or a gun that had no sights on it at all, no optic, no irons, just like a slick slide, was probably, if they've got a relatively well-developed index, they probably were pretty surprised at how accurate they could be and how far back that works. So understanding that if I have a well-developed index and I kind of use the outline of the optic housing or some other, visual input from the gun itself, I'm still aiming. I'm still checking in and getting some level of information out of a sighting system. It's not really kind of like you would describe of like, this feels about right and send it. So, I guess to sum it up, it would be like yes, but no. I know that's probably not a very satisfying answer.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I guess as an outsider, I think, well, if you were actually involved in a shooting for work, you'd have to recall, like, what happened? What did you see? So I don't know. I don't like the idea of, like, on the just face value, saying I wanted to shoot quickly, so I brought up the gun in a way that it seemed like it aligned with the target, and I just started blasting.
Yeah, it's just like I felt like it was time to start shooting, as opposed to, hey, I had a visual indication.
I felt like I was aimed at the target, or I thought I had to go quickly, and so I just started blasting.
I would agree that probably is not going to be a very fun interview to be a part of.
But on the flip side, if we're talking about 3 yards, then it's like, well, I understand, because if you're looking through the window, like, you're probably going to be successful. But anything in theory, so I don't know. I suppose it's all word games.
I don't know. The way I interpreted the question was not, is it possible? Because yes, is it possible to index shoot a target at 3 yards? Absolutely. Is it faster? Like, would I train to do that instead of access the sight that I've got thousands of reps on in order to make the shot. Would I rather do that? Like in that case, when you phrase it that way, it's like, well, of course it's a no-brainer. So, it's not necessarily that there's not a 1 in a million occurrence where the circumstances line and it makes sense, but more as a course of training or what is my preferred method. It's never going to be slower to at least see your sights, because that's what you train to do anyway. You train for the index to come up in front of your face, and it doesn't take any amount of time longer to see and react to a flash of red.
No, that's fair. All right, another question for you.
All right.
Let's see. Working on doubles and bill drills, notice the dot goes up and to the right under recoil at 20 degrees. Since it doesn't go straight up, does that mean my grip is lacking somewhere? He's right-handed.
Right, 20. How far is 20 degrees? Like,
I don't know, man. 198 degrees is one of your favorites. Got him.
Got me. All right, so
Let's just say he's shooting and his dot's going up and to the right. And since it's not going, the old school, got to go straight up.
go straight up.
Is that a problem with his grip? He's right-handed.
So I would assess it in terms of, did you feel that earthquake?
I did.
That was weird. So I would assess it as how, not so much like where does your dot go, but how does it return? So if the dot is recoiling back to the same place every time and it's returning predictably and like very cleanly back to the same place, it's not slashing below, it's not taking a different pattern each time, it's very predictable, I'm not really going to be very concerned with the direction that it's leaving. I don't know how far 20 degrees is. Sorry, I'm not that smart. But if it's recoiling up towards 1 o'clock or something like that, that's fine. I'm not concerned about it. I don't think the grip necessarily is the problem. It could be a matter of the way your hands interact with the gun, the way the gun fits you, how it's comfortable for you to grip the gun. It could be a lot of different things. But if the gun's returning predictably, I'd say it's probably fine. If the gun is not returning predictably and the dot does something different every time or a lot of the time, then I would say it is probably a very good idea to look at your grip, because it is probably not staying consistent. And so that's what's causing the different recoil pattern, the different dot return pattern, over time.
What you're saying is, like, let's say I shoot and it seems like the dot's going up and to the right, but then after a few shots, it kind of goes up and to the left a little bit. And then once in a while I see it go up and then low and then back up.
Mm-hmm. That would be, then yes, I would assess that like the grip is deficient in some manner. Something is changing in the connection to the gun, which is why the indicator is now because the dot is doing something different. That is your telltale sign that something in the connection to the gun is shifting, which violates the principles that we are always trying to achieve.
That makes sense. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's fair enough.
All right.
Cool. Well, that's where you tell people to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, you need more followers, so make sure you hop over to Joel's channel and bang that subscribe button.
No, this is the channel you're watching right now. Go down below, click the like button, leave a comment. If you have listener questions for Kyle, you should drop them down below. That way he can answer your questions.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Because he diligently reads all the questions.
That I do. I try to respond to all the questions, all the comments. I try to read them all. So if you've got something you want talked about, something that might make a nice video. If it's a short question, I'll just bang it out in the comments. But if it's long enough or in-depth enough, I'll just make a video out of it. So
perfect. Cool. Well, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everybody.